All right, we're live. We'll see how many people show up tonight. I know a lot of people are going to be busy dealing with family. That's why I decided to do this. And you can hang out with some people you actually like instead of your family. But anyhow, we'll say hi to who all is here already. R.T. Scott and Ronald Coward are here. Dan, Rick Green, Fuzz Fork, Billy Lee. Let's see here. Cynthia, she's here. I think that's about it. Ronald Coward said hi to already. At least that's people who left messages so far. Raymond Hogwild, he's here. Cast Iron Restore. All right, get back to the comments here. Yeah, I'm a bit south of the lake effect snow in Wisconsin. It's more across the UP and far northern Wisconsin up on the South Shore because Lake Superior comes over the top of Wisconsin. You get the big northwest winds, and it drives it mostly across the UP down into Michigan and Ohio, New York, that country. So we don't get quite as much lake effect in Wisconsin as a lot of other places do. But we're where the cold air comes from that causes it in the first place. So you can thank us for that. Isaac Newton's birthday? Yeah, it is. And since it's Christmas, I'm going to have some eggnog. Got me a glass right here. A lot of folks like some brandy in their eggnog. Gotta get this open. Personally, I prefer them next to each other. Set that down there for now. Cheers. But anyhow, tonight I was going to go over and show you guys HiBid, the HiBid auction site. I kind of threatened about it the last few times out. It's a really useful site. It's what it is. It's a listing site for auctioneers, basically. They all post their stuff on that, and you can search HiBid for a lot of different auctions in your area. But no, I'll show you. We'll get into all that, and it's really a useful site. You can find auctions closer to home. Some will ship small items like pans and such. Some won't ship anything. You have to pick it up in person. And we'll go over all of that. And we'll show you a little bit about how it works. I'm not going to sign in because it puts my name right across the top of the screen, and we don't need that on there. But you still search the site and give you a little bit of a sample of how it works. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot going on or planned for tonight. We'll see who shows up. Farm Boy, he's here. Cast Iron Chaos. Who expects cast iron for Christmas? Well, if nobody else buys it for you, you can always buy yourself some. 6 Drops is here. You got a ornament skillet. Mango's here. Hey, Mango. Johnny Waring. Cynthia. Yeah, I don't have any of them, but I've seen the little cast iron Christmas tree ornaments. I didn't bother putting up a tree this year, mostly because the cat would more likely have it torn down by now. And it's a bit much of a hassle just for me around here, so I don't get too worried about it. Sort of getting a skillet this year. I was going to give a Wapak number 9, but decided you wanted it for yourself. Yeah, I saw a couple of Wapak Indian heads. Let's see, a couple of Wapak Indian heads sell on Goodwill recently. Let's see. 6 drops is here. Granny. Which Granny we got? Granny Graham. Howdy. Good to see you. And I think one of them might still be. I'm not sure if the bidding is closed on that one or yet. It was number 4, actually. I think it was number 4, and the other one they didn't say what it was. I think it might have been an 8. But anyhow, yeah, we'll get this HiBid thing here set up and underway. Let's see here. Present share screen. There it is. And allow. There we are. All right, this is the home page for HiBid. When you start off, you'll have to create an account with them. You'll have to register a credit card with them, because if you pick it up in person, most auction sites will just send you an invoice. You take that in with you, you pay on the spot, and you pick your stuff up. But if you opt to have them ship it, you will they will bill your credit card and pay it out of the credit card because they're shipping it, and obviously you're not going to be picking it up your own self. So they'll bill your credit card for it. With the shipping, it varies. Some people ship it themselves, and you'll pay them for it separately from your whatever your winning bid was. Some of them take it to like UPS store or pack mail, something like that, and they'll have them ship it, and you'll have to make arrangements to pay them for the shipping. But it's not anything terribly complicated. And when you'll also have to register for each individual auction when you go to place a bid. But all that is you confirm which credit card you're going to bill, and you check a box if you want shipping or not. Like I said, not all of them offer shipping. Some will ship smaller stuff like pans, but some won't ship at all. Anyhow, the search is real handy. Let me type this in here. We'll search for cast iron. I'll put in a zip code. Let's see, I'll put in a zip code for Eau Claire. That would be 54702. And how far of a radius from that you want. I usually go about 250 miles. And, sometimes you find stuff that's a bit farther away that can be shipped. And the closer ones, you can go ahead and just pick it up yourself. And we'll search and see what comes up. So put my glasses on here so I can see. Now, I just put cast iron. I didn't really specify anything. So you'll get a lot of different cast iron stuff. Some is pretty neat. That's a string holder, receipt spear, tractor seat. And here's a Griswold number 10 tight top Dutch oven. Let's see. That's way down in Evansdale, Iowa. But let's see, their shipping is available if I was interested in that. And you see it's large logo, needs a bit of restoration, but you might be able to get it at a fairly decent price. And you can watch it, and it'll put it all on, even though it's from different auctioneers. If you watch something, it'll put them all on the same watch list, and it'll put them in the order that they close. So it's pretty handy that way. And we'll back up here and see what else we got going on. No, I don't want to subscribe. Where were we? A bunch of toys. But anyway, that was down in Iowa. If you look at the backgrounds and the closing dates, you can usually tell if it's from the same one. This cast iron tractor seat and this little fire pot here, these are probably from all the same one down in Iowa. Bunch of cast iron toys, a couple of teapots. Oh, there's a nice little kettle. It's got the bottom that's meant to sit down in the eye of a wood stove, a bulge kettle. Got the hook so you can hang on your crane. Again, but these are the same guys here down in Iowa. Something else you can do, let me find one a little nearer to hand. All right, well, we'll see. Cast iron skillet. Hard to say what this might be. Get a lot in Iowa. That's kind of odd. I know there's a lot closer by. But anyway, that was Perry Auctions. I never heard of them, but let me see here. Try to find something a little bit closer to home. What does that one do? Okay, this one. Here's a different one. This is in Cumberland, Wisconsin. Get Her Gone Auctions. If you click on the link or on the name, that'll take you to their little page on HiBid. And from there, you can go to their website. Having trouble finding that site. But anyhow, you can follow to their website. Let's see, where's this guy? I don't know where this one is. We'll see where he's at. He's in Dexter, Iowa. But if you go to their website, then you look at their auction calendar, their current auctions, it'll bring up what auctions they got, and you can check out their you can view the catalog for that auction. And especially if it's somebody near where you live, it's a lot easier. You can bookmark this and just go directly to their site, and you can go through the whole catalog. You find some pretty interesting stuff. Got a bunch of cast iron tractors, hard to say. And there's page after page of stuff, little box banks and beanie babies, all manner of stuff. But anyhow, that's basically it. All the auctioneers, they do charge a buyer's fee. So normally, it's 10%, but it can vary anywhere from 10 to 25 depending on who they are. So you kind of want to keep an eye on that. If you find somebody local, like I say, go ahead and bookmark them. And you can keep track of what's going on there. And go ahead and go through their whole catalogs. Because you can find a lot of interesting odds and ends. And once in a while, there'll be, if you search for just cast iron like I did, a lot of times you will it won't necessarily get all the skillets because they might have it listed as a skillet instead of a cast iron skillet. So if you go ahead and look at the rest of the catalog, you can find a lot of really interesting stuff, and you can find a lot more stuff that isn't necessarily comes up on the right away on the search on the HiBid side. Once you got a few local favorites figured out, it can definitely get a lot more options for buying stuff. Like I say, some of them were kind of rough looking. You can usually pick up stuff like that pretty reasonable. Sometimes the prices go high, a lot of times it'll go low. Number 4 Wapex are a common reproduction, have the wrong handle. These have the right handle on them, and the number 4 anyway. The bigger one, uh, it looked kosher, had the right handle. The Indian didn't look too bad, but it was a bit pitted around it, so it was kind of hard to tell. The number 4, again, it has the right handle. The Indian looks right. A lot of the Indian head reproductions, the Indian head doesn't look right. I mean, it looks weird as hell. Either that, it's just a lot better reproduction than they used to be. And most of these auction sites, you can they'll have a day, or some of them are open just regular hours, 5 days a week. But all of them, you can go and check them out in person. You can inspect the stuff, go have a look at it. If it's something close enough to where you are, you can go ahead and go have a look at it and actually handle the stuff you're trying to buy, which is nice because unlike eBay where you're kind of taking a chance on what you're getting, or Goodwill site or something like that. It's always nice if you can actually show up in person and inspect it. But yeah, it's fairly simple site to use. Like I say, if you start to watch stuff, it'll all come up on a single list on the HiBid site. It'll also come up on the individual auction site when you go to their website and log in. And you can use the same login for HiBid. You can use that on all of the sites to log in and register and bid. So it's a handy site. Like I said, it's like every other auction. You have to be aware of how much their commission is. But some of them, there's a few of them that are insanely high on their commissions, but most of them, it's usually 10%. And if it's not too far away, let me stop sharing this. If it's not too far away, you can save a lot on shipping, especially if you end up winning 4 or 5 items and it end up costing you $60-$70 to ship it. A lot of times it's quite a bit cheaper just to go over and get it. Turn that thing off so it ain't quite so bright. So yeah, that's basically how you get onto HiBid. And they're nationwide. They're all over the country. So just put in a zip code near you, and away you go. What's a good price on a small logo Griswold chicken fryer? I mean, it's kind of hard to say. They really bounce around quite a bit. I've seen Griswold chicken fryers with a lid sell anywhere from 80 to 150 for a small logo. There's really no rhyme or reason. Sometimes people don't want the small logo, and sometimes it dawns on them it's a Griswold like any other Griswold. It's just as good of a pan as a large block logo chicken fryer is. Let's see, back up a bit here. I'm more looking for a manual battery charger than anything. Napa auto part stores. I know they carried a big shop size. It's mounted on wheels, manual battery charger. And they did last time I was in there, probably about 6-8 months ago. They still had one in my local Napa, so I would try with them first. It wasn't hugely expensive for what it is. I think it's around $200 for it. Hey, Robin's here. Good to see you. What's with the WI? Wisconsin, you mean? Oh, I live in Wisconsin. So that's probably what you're looking at. Had to back up a bit. Reaper, nice to see you. Good to get a pop by and say Merry Christmas. Oh, waffle iron paddles. Sorry. Orphaned iron and hog wild treated nice. They package a cast iron to survive a nuclear war. Yeah, there's a bit more. A lot of people think cast iron's indestructible. You can just throw it in a box with a couple of sheets of newspaper and you're good. And that just ain't the case. I showed you packing up, uh, packing up some cast iron to ship. Pool noodles work good around the rims of the pans, keep them from getting cracked and banged, and make sure it doesn't rattle around in the box, and you got a good bit of padding around it. The biggest thing is to make sure it's not floating around loose in the box, because then it will definitely be in trouble, because the boxes, they just drop off the end of conveyors into bins, get dropped on the floor, thrown around the truck. And if something can bang around in there, it will bang around and bang on the concrete floor. Definitely check out those paddles. Yeah, if they offer shipping, like I say, they're nationwide. So if it's someplace that offers shipping, you can buy it anywhere and ship it. Dollar store sell those pool noodles. Pipe insulation works really good too. It's pretty much the same thing as pool noodles. A little bit different material, but does the same thing. And you can get those at Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot, and usually it's pretty cheap. Cheaper than pool noodles in the summertime. But you can a lot of times you get pool noodles in the dollar store in fall, and they'll sell them pretty cheap then too. Like I say, they're pretty seasonal, and if you need some when there's no pool noodles around, pipe insulation works good. Am I still using that fancy homemade faucet? Yes, I am. You can just barely see it there behind me in the background. Yeah, it's pretty slick. It works good. I'm tickled to death with it anyway. Definitely get a full flow through it. And it's finally something tall enough that I can fill my canners real easy. It's you can just set the canner right underneath it, swing it up over, and away you go. And even for all the where's the cat? She's around. I don't know where she is right now. She made one little pass through last week, and that was it. It's kind of nice not being terrorized and attacked by the cat for a change. But she's around. I just fed her. I don't know where she was off to. Took a nap this afternoon. She curled up with me for a bit, but she's only good for about 2 hours before she has to start biting on me to see if I'm awake or hoping I'm dead, and she can just start eating me. Bought a $250 faucet. Takes forever to fill a 5-gallon bucket. Yeah, they're limited how many gallons per minute they can flow. I think it's like 1.8 for a kitchen faucet. Some of the tub faucets you can get a bit more. Even commercial faucets nowadays, a lot of those don't put out nearly as much flow as they used to. Would love to have it join in with the other chicken fryers. Think that's the only name you don't have. I'm trying to think of what I got. I don't think I have a Griswold chicken fryer either offhand. I got BSR, Wagner's, uh, 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 Chicago Hardware Foundry. I got some of the unmarked combo cooker chicken fryers. See one more. I think I got a. Is that chicken fryer? That's a skillet. The old Arc Logo Lodge of mine. That's a skillet. Who here has Mud's cast iron? Do you have two pieces? I'm trying to think of who all would have. I know Cynthia's got one. Given away several over the last couple of years. I'd have been thinking I would have set something up for tonight, but I don't have anything picked out right now, being Christmas and all. But maybe next week I'll give something away for a late Christmas present. He only shares with Cynthia. Yeah, she kept winning for quite a while there. Until we finally had to put a moratorium on that. Probably shouldn't have stoked up my stove right before the show started. Now it's getting hotter than hell in here. It's not terribly cold out right now. It's around 30. It's supposed to be fairly warm for the rest of the week, so that's always nice in December. Of course, now you got me wondering where the cat is. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's sacked out by the stove. She likes sleeping in there because it's nice and toasty warm. She likes to lay underneath the cook stove when I got that going. But I think the big stove's a little bit too warm for her to lay underneath of it. Yeah, Corey got my one of the coffee pots I gave away. You wish it was hot in there. It's the coldest house you ever had. I had a big air leak along the bottom of my wall over here. The foundations on this place float and move and settle, and it opened up a crack in the bottom of the wall between the floor and the wall. So had a big draft coming in underneath my pantry. Couldn't figure out where the hell it was coming from until I cleared the stuff away from the shelves, and you can see, yeah, there's about a half-inch gap all the way along the bottom of the wall, so I had to blow that full of foam. But come summer, I'm sure it'll heave and lift up again, and it'll close the gap up anyway. But it doesn't do any good when we had a big cold snap last week and it was below zero. It makes it a little bit harder to keep the house warm when you got the equivalent of having a window half open. Are the Lodge 4-in-1s a deep skillet? Uh, uh, I think so. I think they're not quite as deep as a chicken fryer. I'm just trying to. I don't have it really handy to look at, but offhand, they might be more of a chicken fryer. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it. Think about what I want to trade you for any number 9. I'll have to see what I got for number 9s and think about what I might have to trade for one. She'll be mousing. No, actually, I came home this morning from work and she was sitting in the middle of the floor meowing at me because she wanted me to feed her, and a mouse ran across the floor behind her. She was looking at me, looking to be fed, and the mouse was just saying, you're distracted. I'm going to make my break for it. Yeah, and the mouse ran right behind her. Couldn't have been more than a foot away, and she never even noticed. You want a 9. The only 9 you own is a very nice Martin stove and range. Never used and ain't gonna. No way your Charlie loves her at. Yeah, I was overrun with mice here for a bit. I got them thinned out. I trapped a bunch of them last week, but apparently still at least one left. Did I ever get the Griswold Colonial breakfast skillet? No, I didn't. Still don't have one of them. Mice are bad here this year. Yeah, I don't know if they're on a cycle like they are in some places like Australia. If you ever see when the mice are at their peak and they're just they open a door to a shed and it's just a carpet of mice running around in there. But every fall, of course, they try to move in when it starts turning cold. Is Magnificent Cock hibernating? No, he's get the mic out of the way. He's just off camera. Had to move him around the other day, and I haven't moved him back because usually he's right there, front and center. Saw one for $100 in Shreveport for a Colonial. That's a pretty good price. Usually they go around 150 for those for the Griswold breakfast skillets. I got a Wapak 9 you can trade. Yeah, maybe Cynthia take you up on that. I've got at least one Wapak 9. Hell no, can't tolerate mice. Yeah, they do make a nuisance of themselves in the fall. Saw a Griswold 665 going for insane money a couple of days ago. Yeah, usually they're like I say about 150 or so is pretty typically what they go for, but every once in a while things can run wild. There's a number 5 Griswold oval roaster lid on the Goodwill site. It's fully marked. I mean, some of the Griswold oval roasters they just said oval roaster, some said Griswold oval roaster and the size number, and some weren't marked. They had the logo on the inside, but the tops weren't marked. And this one's all fully marked, and the lid alone was going for $760 the last time I looked at it. And there's 3 or 4 sizes of the Griswold oval roasters, and the large and the small are more common. It's the middle size ones that are really rare. I think it's number 3 is really scarce and go for big money. But usually you can get the whole roaster for what they're paying for just that lid. But if you have a bottom with no lid, that's a lid that you almost never see by itself. So there's probably a half a dozen people desperate for a lid for their number 5 Griswold oval roaster, and they're all just bidding themselves silly on it. But yeah, 760 bucks, 765, I think it was, for just a lid is a pretty steep price. I'm not sure if the sale closed on it or if it's still bidding on it. But yeah, if you got 3 or 4 people that really got to have a lid for their roaster, I can see where it would get a bidding war going. But yeah, you can get the whole damn roaster for that amount of money. You got a Lodge Tower storage rack. It weighs a lot. I bet it does. Some of the old display racks, for Wagner and Griswold, go for quite a bit of money on their own. Santa Tracker is close to Louisiana. His kids are into it. Definitely get warmer in here. That's a problem with the big heater stove. It's a little bit too much for when it's in the 20s. Start getting around 10 degrees and below. It's just the thing to have. But much more than that, it tends to drive you out even if you got a small fire going in it. Just stoke it up in the morning and take the chill off the house and let it burn out through the day. But silly me, I went and put wood in it for the show. And I'm sure the brandy probably isn't helping either. Might have to have some more of that, see if I can really get sweated up. Because it ain't Christmas until you passed out under the Christmas tree. I have to refill my nog glass. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, I haven't gotten any new cast iron in the last week or so. I think the last ones I got were the I showed you that big number 16 favorite favorite griddle and the stuff that came with that. Might be blasphemy, but have you ever looked at Temu cast iron? No, I haven't. You drank way too much nog today. Yeah, it can be a bit much. I mean, it's hard not to have too much eggnog, whether it has alcohol in it or not. But it is pretty damn filling. Am I feeling festive? Oh, fairly festive. But no, I haven't looked at any of the Temu cast iron or really anything on Amazon either, for that matter. I usually stick to the secondhand stores and auction sites. But that might be interesting. I mean, I'm sure, like I said, some of the a lot of the imported stuff, it's hit or miss. A lot of the Chinese stuff isn't very good, but a lot of the Korean and made in Taiwan is. There are some bad ones, from Korea and Taiwan, but a lot of them are, pretty decent pans. Some of them are rough on the outside, but they're machined nice on the inside. And I've seen a lot of really nice imported Korean and Taiwan. So there might be a chance that Temu actually has some halfway decent cast iron, but I never really looked at it. So got a cool grill from them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, usually you can, even in pictures on a website, if it looks like it's, really rough, low grade, poorly made cast iron, it's probably not. It probably is. I mean, if it looks halfway decent, a lot of times it is. What brand is the brandy? That's E&J Grand Blue brandy. Ain't bad. Not terribly expensive, but tastes good. Raymond's drinking and roasted pigs Miami style. So you'll see us next time. Well, have fun, Raymond. We'll see you. Taserface, he came in. Good to see you. They call it Easy Jesus. Yeah. Not a big brandy drinker, but once in a while it's pretty good. And like I said, that ain't too bad a brandy. Tessa Reed, good to see you, Tessa. Got snow a little bit. We got a couple inches on the ground, but it's probably going to rain this weekend, so more likely. They call it Easy Jesus at the liquor store and take it easy on me. Let's see, didn't expect a lot, have been disappointed. The grill was a pleasant surprise. Huh. Hood sent you a cast iron skillet. A good deal. That was nice of him. But yeah, don't automatically write off something just because it's made in Korea or Taiwan or even China. Look it over good. If it's something good, it's something good. Cast iron is, pretty universal type of metal. I mean, it's everywhere in the world. Like I say, there's good cast iron, bad cast iron once you learn to spot the difference. I used to drink flavored brandy. Jacqueline's made in Philadelphia, rot gut, and you loved it. Yeah, blackberry brandy is big in Wisconsin. Polish style blackberry brandies and regular blackberry brandy. Strange that Polish style blackberry brandy would be a thing in Wisconsin, of all places. Tried finding a live earlier, but just didn't show you. Happy to get in late to not at all. Merry Christmas Eve to y'all. Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas to you too, Tessa. And Hostile Hooves gave me $2 and for real nice of you for Christmas. Merry Christmas. Pull the lever. Well, I might pull the lever. Blackberry brandy tastes like potpourri. It'll make you hark. Only if you go overboard with it. But of course, that's what you're supposed to do with it in the first place. It can be good now and then, but it can get pretty syrupy after a while sometimes. Christian Brothers is your favorite. Yeah, like I said, the C&J ain't bad. Not terribly expensive. But like I said, I'm not a huge brandy drinker. Yeah, blackberry, peach, and apricot, different flavors, all chemical additives, I'm sure. I'm sure nowadays it is, but the original, real blackberry brandy was distilled from blackberry wine, then they'd add blackberry juice back to it. Bud Light was the best. Didn't taste like nothing if it wasn't at least 12. Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of flavor out of Bud Light, but it's cheap. It's got alcohol that's vaguely beer like, so I guess it does what it was supposed to. Your new Lodge cast iron rack was made in Taiwan. Yeah, probably. They were making before they started selling the more expensive enamel ware. Lodge was shipping their pans over to China to have them enameled. Go figure. Pabst Blue Ribbon, yeah, it was big and was big around here for a long time. Not so much anymore. Yeah, you can still get it, but yeah, for a long time it was a big beer around here. That and old style, but Heilemann's went out of business, so no more old style. And they're shutting down the Kugel's brewery in Chippewa. Kugel's got Miller bought a big chunk of them, quite a few years ago, and now that Miller is owned by InBev, I think owns them. I forget, or no, it's Molson Coors that bought out Miller, which meant they bought out the chunk of Kugel's. And after 157 years of brewing in Chippewa Falls, they're shutting it down and moving the brewing down to Milwaukee. Wanted to thank me for the Presto pressure cooker video. I was scared of the thing until I watched my video, and now I use it for sterilizing bottles. Yeah, pressure cookers aren't, there's nothing really to be afraid of as long as you approach it with a little bit of care and common sense. They're made for newer ones have redundant safeties. Even a lot of the older ones, they had blowout plugs on them, so if the pressure got too high, it would blow out. What got a lot of the fears going is, grandma blew up her pressure cooker back in the 50s. And it did happen because after World War II, pressure cookers got really popular. They were used a lot in the military, and there got to be a big civilian market for them. So they started making them, but of course, trying to make them cheaper, faster, and cheaper. They started doing away with things like a blowout plug, a pressure relief valve on them. And what would happen with the pressure cooker, especially as stuff cooked and boiled inside of it, a lot of times it would plug up the vent hole, and pressure would build up, and you could blow up your pressure cooker. It was less of a problem with canners; those pretty much always had some sort of relief on them. But it happened. But it's usually if you manage to make a pressure canner explode, it's because you did something stupid deliberately. Remember the generic white cans that only said beer? Yeah, I've seen those. Found a tiny glass old style beer bottle in the dirt under the lilac. sitting in the garage a lot now. A lot of old candy wrappers too. Ah, remember USA beer? You save a lot. No, I never heard of that one. Things like Schaefer's and hams. I don't know if they still make hams or not. I think so, but it ain't real common. Grain Belt, Meisterbrow, Stroh's. I don't think they make Stroh's anymore. After the ma, I said that you're chasing after me, checking out the ceiling. Yeah, and a lot of times people try and force the lid open when it was under pressure. That happened quite a bit too. And yeah, bad things happen when you do that. Fell asleep cooking green beans, blew up a pressure cooker, beans all over the kitchen ceiling. Yeah, and like I say, a lot of the cheap ones, when they really caught on, they didn't bother with a blowout plug on them that would blow out if something got out of hand. And if you got something just cooking loose in a pan, like a pressure cooker would be, it was fairly easy to plug up the vent tube on it. Just jumping on and tell everyone Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. We're just about done for the night. You guys can go back to putting up with your kids and in-laws. Had a 30 pack of hams. Yeah, I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen it in a while, but I think they still make it, so I guess they do. Grew up with Straubs. Their own Straub beer. Thank you for the $2 subs. That was nice of you. Always appreciated. Yeah, Walters. That was a local brand around here. They're long since out of business. Although I think a local, craft brewery, brew pub kind of thing, bought the name for Walters, and they're making it again. But it's just selling it there at their brewery or pub. I'm pretty sure it's a brew pub that finally managed to acquire the name and the recipe for Walters beer. Knew a guy that worked there years ago, and his wife would always complain they came home smelling like a brewery. One of the rare cases where he actually did work in a brewery, so of course he'd smell like that when he got home. And thank God no children make them follow their parents. Yeah, it'd be nice if you could skip having kids and just go straight to grandkids so you can get the little shits all wound up and then dump them back on their parents and send them home. But yeah, a lot of the local and regional breweries have gone by the wayside over the years. Wilton made a lot of aluminum serving trays. Daily bread serving trays are Wilton, and the Trivets are made in PA. Yeah, you see they made a lot of serving trays, baking trays, things of that sort. Not so much pots and pans. I think I might have made some, but usually it's more of the more servingware type of stuff. And I think they made a lot of cake pans too, baking pans. But anyhow, I think I will wrap her up here. Did Laverne and Shirley work in a brewery in Milwaukee? Yeah. What was the name of it on the show? Shots, I think. Kind of stole it from Schlitz. Yeah, Schlitz and Blatz. They haven't been around for quite a while either. Little nieces and nephews you like? Go on, get out, follow your people. You betcha. Always like German dark beers, pretty much discontinued because of the microbrews. There's still some out there, but the old Bach beers, there's not as many of them. Anyway, yeah, everybody have a Merry Christmas, and I'm sure I'll be back before the new year, so we'll talk again then. Maybe be a little less focused, maybe a little more alcohol. Who knows? Either way, it'll work out pretty good, I would think. But have a good holiday and stay safe, and I will talk to you guys next week, hopefully. I'll see you then. Good night. Bye, and Merry Christmas.